Expedition to Adoso. Whenever I hear the horn sound of the pontoon, it means the pontoon is ready to start its journey to cross the river to Echi, or it has finally arrived from Echi to Adoso. For a first-time traveler, the excitement of visiting Afram Plains, one of the most talked about communities that significantly contribute to the national economy, could soon fizzle out and become why did I get on this journey if you are one who is used to being in your comfort zone to commuting on relatively good roads. The crossing over, we continued our journey, passing through the Kwau township of Nkoko, Atibie, Mpraiso, Pepon, Asakraka, and Tafo. But there's this unbelievable work of nature that is frightening, exciting, and very bewildering. Just before Adoso, there is this square rock looking like a 6-story building, set squarely on the mountain called Bruku by the locals. I was told that there is a fetish with its own priest who worship the Bruku god. Honestly, all these years from 2005 till date, I still cannot understand the wonder of nature, how Bruku came to stand there. In fact, you need to see it to appreciate the mystery surroundings. Indeed, Afram Plains, which is divided into two, Afram Plains South, with Tiase as the district capital, and the popular Donkokrum, the capital of Afram Plains North, can also be proud of being the food basket, providing maize yam, plantain, cassava, cocoa, and vegetables, and river fish, which is the most popular. It also serves as a hub for charcoal production, as well as timber, with cashew, orange, oil palm dominating tree crops produced in the area. However, apart from how popular the area is and the fact that it contributes to the economic activity of the country, there is very little the Afram Plains has to show for it, just like many mining communities which has suffered neglect and no meaningful development. Afram Plains also has a similar story to share that leaves the other routes, which has become the most preferred, a 2-part journey that starts with the road that travels from the Kwau route to Adoso, from where the second part of the trip begins on River Afram to Echi Amanfrom by a ferry, popularly called the pontoon, which is operated by the Volta Lake Transport Company. Crossing the river is like traveling on a 3-kilometer stretch journey. However, with an efficient pontoon service, that journey could be done within minutes. There is only one pontoon that serves as the only means of transport in crossing the river from Adoso to Echi Amanfrom, or vice versa. This means that commuting could be a whole day's exercise, especially if it is a return journey. For its importance and contribution to business and everyday living in the area, one would have expected that the pontoon service would have by now been more than 2 to be more efficient and it save a lot of time wasting. People and cars disembarking from the pontoon after a dock at Adoso. Due to the foggy weather, the pontoon usually begins the service at 6 o'clock a.m. and by 10:30 a.m. it goes on a break to resume at 2 p.m. for the afternoon service that ends about 5:30 p.m. The ferry service has a capacity of 360 tons per trip for vehicles, goods, and persons. Thus, if you do not get there early and the wait is made, you have no choice but to wait for the next trip. Ideally, the trip should be made within 20 minutes when it runs on one engine. The Pantu, on a good day, takes between 30 to 40 minutes to cross from one end to the other. This is not always guaranteed, as there is times that the Pantu, which has served the community for over 7 years, will develop mechanical faults, and in that instance, service is delayed until the problem is fixed. Apart from these inconveniences during the travel, nothing is assured. It is a journey embarked on under the mercy of the weather. On a day with a good weather, everything is calm, and the trip is enjoyable as it allows, especially first-time water travelers, to enjoy the calmness and serenity of the vast water. No one would like to encounter the unfriendly weather, usually during the storm, when the control of the Pantu is not in the hands of the driver, but at the mercy of the wind. During such times, emotions run wild and get people to be on their feet to pray all through the journey until the final destination is reached. While the Pantu has not recorded any accident in many years, the smaller boats have capsized and lives have been lost in that process, as people who miss the Pantu try to use the smaller boat to cross to get to their communities. According to one of the boat driver, he is always there for those who are in a hurry to cross the river. They take them safely to their destination since they can't wait for the Pantu. He said there is no fear in this job. He hasn't encountered any inconveniences ever since he came to Adroso.
So Pantu no call other side is ana. Wow, wow, bentam. So Edia, who pass out and I Pantu no. I call 5 times a day and I say 6 times a day. I call Bobby 11 and I say 10 more and a week. The way break above 2 o'clock as I start to mention. I break this I am rock up and tell some much on
A fisherman also explained why they nowadays don't get enough fish when they go for fishing.
So you are not be careful so not fair ham.
Recently, passengers, many of whom were first-time travelers on the Pantu, who were crossing from the Adroso end to Echiamanfrom, were presented with a bittersweet experience that will be etched in their memories for a long time. Perhaps taking a cue from what the disciples of Jesus Christ did from the story in the Bible, people still call on God for deliverance when the storm rages. Nothing is assured, as the weather could suddenly change in the middle of the journey. Anytime we board the pontoon, we pray for the best and God's intervention, and that is what has always taken us safely. An assertion that was corroborated by the number of people who also frequently travel on that route.